Hey, this is Jared and Nate, and we want to help you get your first year under your belt. Exactly what happens is you get an email from the FSCSA one day, and it says you are officially registered. You qualify. You have your insurance. You are officially a broker.
How exciting.
What do we do now? Right? We're going to take that down. We're going to break it down right now.
Yep.
And I'll kick it off. Number one is you have got to just have a good operational process in place. Okay. No matter what you do, obviously we need clients, we need carriers, all those things. We've got to make sure that we've got a good base first. Okay. So what I'm talking about there is I want you to get a good carrier packet. I want you to make sure that you have a good QuickBooks so that you can pay carriers, because we need to be able to essentially process carriers to work with, but we also need to process carriers to pay, right? And so I think this is probably one of the first things that we do is get that process started, operationally speaking, and that'll manage not only your finances, but it'll also manage, your carriers and the control of your day-to-day.
Mm-hmm. I think to add to that business plan, you should also think about your target market. Who are you going to reach out to, whether it's shippers and carriers? What's that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. This rolls into step number 2. We need to have a decent business plan, or more so a sales and marketing plan. How are we going to get, nothing happens till something's sold, right? And so we need to have a good plan of, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Pretty much on a quarterly basis, here's my goal. I'm going to try to get this many touches with this many accounts, and I'm going to do it through these variety of platforms, whether it's through your phone, through LinkedIn, through email, through whatever those means are, right? But you've got to have a good business plan that says, hey, you need shippers. They are the ones that pay your bills. How are you going to get them? Right? And that could even be walking in the door, by the way. If you're in a larger area, walk in the door and just put your hat out and say, hey, here's what I do.
Right.
Do you have anything?
Okay. And there's multiple business strategies or marketing strategies, if you will, you can put in place. To name a few: flyers, dropping off business cards, joining LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups. One of my favorites is, obviously, you mentioned face-to-face contact.
Yeah, it makes a big difference in today's market,
Yes.
Especially where the phones are busy, emails are really busy. Why not walk in and see where that goes?
Something different.
The next thing you need to get under control is I need a TMS, sort of, right? Let's go get a shipper. Let's go get something that needs to go in that technology.
Right.
Okay. So there are some TMSs out there that are really low cost, or also even free for the first level of shipments, right?
Right.
And so, make sure that you have not only technology to book a load, dispatch a load, get a bill of lading, but here's where I think this comes into big play. There's some technology out there, such as eCarrier Check, where we can source you carriers and shippers, right? But there's also, technology out there. eCarrier Check also does vetting, right? It'll help you with potentially double brokering. There's things that you can find on platforms that are out there that are really important that you go, well, can it solve this issue and this issue?
Right.
And is it reasonably priced?
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So true. And I think that same thing goes with the load boards, like the TMS situation.
Yes.
Let's find those shippers first. Let's get something so we can put into there.
Yep.
So I like that value add.
Yeah. The last thing, and we talked a little bit about this, and this would probably be in your business plan, but you really need to get out and network with carriers. Once you get that shipper, right, you need carriers. There are load boards, like you mentioned, but I think it's really important that you call shippers where you have carriers. So I'll give you an example of a day-to-day. If you're calling shippers all day in the LA area, okay, take 3 hours off of calling shippers all day if you get burnt out of calling them, and call carriers in that same area and just get a feel of what's going on locally, what their capabilities are. And I promise you, if you haven't been in this industry, you'll start getting more confident with shippers when you talk to carriers.
Right.
Big. You've got to do that, because when you talk to those guys, they're the guys that are moving the trucks up and down the roads.
Right. And I think if you can have some of those carriers under your belt and start building some trust with them, like you said, that'll be a leverage to you talking to those shippers. Hey, got carriers with the right equipment in the right area.
Yep.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. One of the more challenging things is if a shipper says, well, how much would you need from this location to this location? It's sure a lot easier to call a carrier that you've been building a relationship with and saying, hey, how much you need for this? And you can just call them.
Yep.
Right? So make sure that in your day-to-day plan, in your business plan, all that matters is you've got to build your network, and that includes shippers and carriers. So
and be proactive, plan your day ahead, and get ready to crush the next day.
Yeah, and consistently do this for 52 weeks. You don't have a choice. You've got a big year ahead of you. It's going to be challenging because you don't have credit, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have technology. You don't have all these processes in place. You don't have a shipper, right? So you've got to address those things, but you've got to do it diligently every single day in order to be successful and be ready for year 2. So it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy, but it's doable with these five, 6 things here.
So true, Jared. Thanks for sharing, man. Mm-hmm. You guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're going to continue to bring some more videos to help you get through your first year as a broker.